Good morning, friends. We're in a new garden for the Wow Garden project. I'm actually standing in front of the entrance gate to the whole garden, although the garden is very vast and you could call it the garden of 10,000 plants. I think there are even more here, but you'll definitely find out about that later in the episode because we'll walk through the whole garden with its owner, Basia, and learn about its history. 10,000 plants in the garden made me think that maybe we should do a challenge and get 10,000 likes on this video. It's definitely impossible, but maybe you can do it. But you can definitely subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and write a comment about whether you like this garden and if you also have a lot of plants in your own garden. I don't think it's that many, but it's worth staying with us a bit longer and seeing, and maybe we'll actually manage to get those 10,000 likes on this video. We found Basia in her garden. Hi, great to see you. Nice to see you too. This garden is huge. I said you have 10,000 plants, but maybe more. Do you think it's more? I don't know.
I've never counted.
You've never counted, but you can certainly tell us how long you've been creating this garden. How many years is that?
Roughly about 20.
About 20. And what changes have there been in this garden in the meantime, of course?
Yes, well, from here.
We talked about some of the flower beds being created recently, right? Was that in the spring or later?
Well, in the spring, every spring something new appears.
And why are these new flower beds being created? Is the lawn not good enough?
No, the other ones are spreading and there's not much space underneath to plant anything else.
So you keep adding those plants and adding and adding. And tell me, when you add those plants, are they always the same plants or do you add some different ones too?
No, of course, new ones. That's something that hasn't been in the garden yet.
And where do you get those plants from?
Well, from everywhere.
Probably from nurseries somewhere, right?
Whenever we go somewhere, whether to nearby or distant nurseries, we always bring something home.
Okay, so it's a constant search for new plants. Do you look for them according to a specific pattern? Or do you just pick something you like and then think about where to plant it?
Yes, exactly.
Well, but that's possible because the area is huge, right?
Yes, but then you walk around with that little plant and you still don't know here, I don't know where to put it because I already have to dig something up if I want to plant something new.
So I understand that sometimes you plant something and then later you dig it up?
Yes, because I feel like what I bought is more attractive than what was growing before.
Right, but how do you determine if something is more attractive or not?
Because maybe it blooms longer. Oh, then for me it's more attractive because it's there for a bigger part of the year. And for example, peony is only there for a week.
Very briefly, right? It's also worth having plants that take a long time to bloom but only last briefly because the satisfaction is great. All right, so now we'll take a walk around the garden. You'll tell us what's on these flower beds and why they're like that. So let's go. Please come along. Listen, we're walking in front of a flower bed that's really beautiful and colorful right now. You have lavender and rose here. Go ahead. What type of rose is that and how do you make it so beautiful?
This is a Chopin rose. It's more resistant than my other ones.
And what do you do to make it so beautiful?
Do you mount it up in the winter? Yes, because we're in a windy area and can't predict winter, so we have to mount it up. I prune it heavily each spring, but this year I did nothing, not even spraying, and the leaves still look great because there are far fewer aphids than last year.
I agree, there are fewer aphids. What happens when they start falling like that? Do you remove flowers after they bloom?
Yes, they definitely have to be removed because they look ugly and they're all wilted.
And tell me, because the lavender that's here in front of this, it looks great now when they're blooming because they all bloom at the same time. Do you take special care of the lavender too, or not really?
Sometimes it blooms a second time if I cut it at the right time. So we enjoy that second bloom.
But it's weaker then, right? Weaker. And when do you cut it?
I cut off the faded flower heads, so around middle of July, and in the spring, very short.
In the spring. And this is very important because some people cut it before winter, but in my opinion, lavender should be cut around the beginning of April, more or less, as the last one, so that the frost causes as little damage as possible. Listen, in the back you have a beautiful Spanish broom, at the foot of which a Clematis arabella is planted. It looks excellent, the colors combined together, and next to it, do you have a hydrangea, Annabelle? Annabelle, so Arabella and Annabelle, it's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yes, in the name.
And also because someone will definitely ask, this spruce.
Yes, this is an inversa spruce, about 7 or 8 years old.
7, 8 years, so it's a long time. I'm waiting until it gets big, nice, so it'll be visible. Yeah, because now that the roses have grown, they've even covered it up a little bit. Great, so now we know what to do with the roses. Now we're going to a place that's pretty rare in gardens these days because rock gardens like this aren't something you see very often anymore. What's your opinion? Do you often see rock gardens, those raised classic ones in gardens, or?
Not very rarely, very
Rarely, since most have moved on, but it's still worthwhile. Many interesting plants thrive in a rock garden, so let's check it out. Listen, we're standing by this round, large raised bed, because that's what you could call it. Was this specially built with masonry? When was it made?
about 20 years ago, actually, for these bulbs, so that voles wouldn't eat them.
And did it work?
Yes, it worked, but then you have to plant something after the bulbs. So now there's lobelia. Last year there were begonias, something annual.
It's a flower bed that changes throughout the season. Besides that, all those rock garden plants that grow around the outer part are always there, but the center keeps changing. Yes? You said that you planted these anemones this year to see how they would behave in this flower bed. That they'll do well here because they like it a bit warmer. And since this is raised, it'll be much warmer here. What kind of tulips do you have? The classic tall ones? No.
No, botanical ones, very short. And the low-growing daffodils.
And I see some primroses too. And grape hyacinths. So it's probably full of color here. Yes. Okay, great. I think it's worth talking about this, that it's good to create rock gardens because that's exactly the place where these kinds of plants can grow and they look great. Normally, if we planted them in a regular flower bed, they would just disappear, right? They would disappear, yes, but this way they hang over the rocks and fill the area well. How many flower beds do you have? 2, I think, right?
2.
2. Got it. Are they both built the same or do they have different plants? I'm checking.
Also botanical tulips and daffodils.
All right, so we have rock gardens, but in your garden with 10,000 plants, I feel like there are more of them. There are still many other nooks, so now we're going to see an area where there are a lot of grasses. We've come to a more forest-like area because there are a lot of hostas here, but you also have a huge amount of red barren grass. How do you handle it? It really overgrows, right?
Yes, it overgrows, but it doesn't bother me here.
Does anything else grow between it?
Yes, hydrangeas will bloom later and ornamental grasses too.
Various ornamental grasses, miscanthus and some feather grass and fountain grass. But for me, whenever I had red barren, something always grew through it and I could never deal with it. I see that you also have something here.
Yes, we have horsetail and a huge amount of horsetail, impossible to weed out.
Well, but honestly, it looks good between these barrens. And horsetail, because it's probably acidic and wet.
We have a wetland area, yes.
That's why you have a small drainage ditch in front of this. And that's why I think it's actually a bit wetter in this area.
Yep. It's wet when it rains, it's really noticeable.
So it's that much, right? Yes.
Sometimes there's about a meter of snow cover.
Because it's probably run off from somewhere, right? Some ditch from some area, probably. Like,
When it's a wet summer, we're flooded with about a meter of water on the sides, and the drainage ditch comes from all those meadows.
from the meadows around, yes. I didn't mention it. We're near Krakow because lately we've been traveling far, but this time it only took us 20 minutes to get to you, so it's really close. I'd like you to show me in a moment the plants you're most proud of. But we'll walk over there in a moment and you can tell me if they're shrubs, perennials, or a specific variety. So let's go look and we'll show you in a moment. I tried to ask Basia which plant is the coolest, which one she's most satisfied with, but what did you say?
Well, all the new ones.
All the new ones. Because Basia can't wait to see how they'll grow, how they'll look.
If they'll survive the winter?
If they'll survive the winter. So what was the last purchase?
The last one. Ulashoviec, for example.
Ulashoviec, and you think it's going to be a super tour?
Well, the spot is nice, it's sunny, so maybe it will be.
And is this now the plant that Basia is most satisfied with? Because she's waiting to see what will come of it. I have another question for you. Since you keep buying new plants, when new ones appear, do you give up on some of them or do you just move them somewhere else?
I give up on them. I usually just move them to another place so that I don't...
So I don't have to throw them away, right? But it's possible. Listen, because besides these 40 Rs that you can see here, there's still a lot of space further on, and it's waiting there. Yes.
Transplanting.
Transplanting until something new appears. Personally, listen, when I walk here, I imagine this garden a bit like a maze between all these plants. But do you have any plants that are attractive in winter as well? I see many deciduous ones here, but are there many plants that look good in winter? Yes.
Will pines, viburnum, that stiff-leaved one, those...
Boxwoods?
Boxwoods, yes.
Boxwoods, and did you fight with boxwoods?
This year they were only sprayed once, unlike last year when my husband had already sprayed them at least 3 times by now.
But you said you had those big old boxwoods.
Right, but they were neglected last year and they died, and...
They died. Listen, because the box tree moth isn't everywhere. I've been to different gardens where people said they didn't have this box tree moth, but actually in some places there are a lot of them. There are likely more here near Krakow.
Yes, there were some really big specimens last year. If you neglect them for just 1 week and... Wait.
So you have to keep checking inside often, right? Yes. That's how it is. We're in a shaded spot again. We're heading towards the blooming flower beds, but I noticed that you seem to like having plants arranged in rows as well.
Yes, because I think that's a nice way to finish a flower bed. Instead of borders, there are...
Borders made of plants, right? Here, hukara. Well, this one looks spectacular when it blooms, doesn't it? Well, they're beautiful and spacious, really great. What other plants do you use? Which ones for borders in different places? What do you have?
Grasses, for example, yes. Here we have grass or catnip.
Catnip, hakonekloa.
Yes.
And from the smaller ones, maybe some sea thrift.
Yes, sea thrift.
Sea thrift? Oh, yes.
Or sea thrift as well. It's purple and pink.
And now they've probably already finished blooming, right?
They finished blooming, but I didn't manage to trim the flower heads well.
I'm still surprised that you've cut so many because there's a lot of space here to work with. Tell me, do you prefer when these borders are lower or when they're higher? No.
No, I like lower ones, but I trimmed this one since it finished blooming. This one is still blooming, so its flowers will last a bit longer.
But I guess it also depends on what's further along in that flower bed, right? Yes, because if there's something tall, then you can make them a bit higher. I saw in one place that your Astilbes have bloomed, so let's go to those Astilbes. We'll see how it looks color-wise. So here we are where the Astilbes are. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it will be purple.
It's so fleshy, stiff, but you have more here. Why are there so many here?
They were propagated from one bush, a bush.
It's really amazing. Listen, we walk around this garden and we're like, this 50 square meter plot came from one bush, right?
Yeah, just one pink bush was bought, and after 3 years, there's this much,
You just need a knack for propagating and probably have your own spot for replanting everything. I see an empty spot over there. There was probably something there, right? Yes.
There was a Brunera, but it was eaten.
Someone ate it, exactly. Speaking of eating, do you have any problems like that in your garden that are very noticeable?
Yes, in many places the bulbs are actually eaten by voles or...
Some kind of moles?
A lot of plants are eaten by moles. We live in an area where there are a lot of them.
And how does it show? Obviously the plants wither, right? But how do you usually notice that something is happening to the plant?
I can tell by the leaves, they look wilted, and when I pull the plant out, there are no roots left.
Eaten roots, eaten roots. Do you have any way to protect the plants from these voles? Yes, well...
Lately, we only plant some shrubs in metal mesh, but the smaller ones, not really, because I would have to weed between the mesh and it would be very difficult. So
you buy a shrub and put mesh around its roots, right? With a bit of extra space or not? Yes.
I dig a hole about 50 by 50, put in the mesh, about a meter of metal mesh, and cover it up.
Well, that definitely has some effect because they won't get in.
Yes, since I've been planting bigger bushes in mesh, it hasn't happened that they've eaten them. Oh.
So we already have some way to deal with voles. Everyone always says that nothing can be done. Well, here we have another way. And maybe we'll ask you if you have any other methods. Write in the comments, we'd love to hear them. Maybe there will be some super method for voles, right? Well...
With something that small, it's hard to wrap it in mesh, but for something larger like that Judas tree we discussed, it's actually planted in mesh.
Okay, so we have some solutions. Basia, tell me, do you even know all the plants you have in your garden? Of course.
Of course not.
And why not tell me? Because there are...
too many types, species.
But when buying them, it's often not from gardeners, but from random places or groups. And they may not know the varieties, right?
Sometimes you buy them unlabeled or with mixed up labels, so it's unreliable. So I try to keep all the labels, but...
Oh, it might be worth adding labels, but that's tough since cutting makes them fall off and get lost, right? Yeah.
There's no way to have that many labels all over the garden to know which variety it is.
Exactly. I asked you because we came to this little corner where there's a beautiful rose, and I don't know what variety of rose it is. I just don't know. Basia doesn't know either. So right away we have a question for you. Do you know what variety of rose this is? We'd love to find out. No.
I know.
Because we don't know. But you do. It looks spectacular. So take a look at how cool it looks up close. Every moment, listen, as we walk around here, there's something new. Personally, I was really charmed by the plant in front of us, the ones you say spread everywhere and are everywhere, and even before we arrived, you cleared out half of them. What is this?
Acanth.
Acanth. It looks phenomenal. Such a beautiful exotic flower. Does it bloom for a long time? Yes, for a long time.
Well, about 3 weeks.
That's not very long, but you said it spreads a lot, incredibly.
It spreads incredibly. There are little seedlings everywhere, just like here.
So it's a kind of plant that if you leave it on its own, then it's invasive, yes. So it's not demanding.
No, I don't cover it at all, and it manages completely on its own.
It likely doesn't need much water.
No, it's very dry, so.
And next to it, we have a beautiful shrub, actually, which matches the colors fantastically. Calycanthus. Yes, also it's a short plant that doesn't bloom long, right?
It blooms single flowers for about 2 months, but
Yeah, but when there are more bursts, that's...
only now.
Only now, that's actually... And about the colors, you said earlier that you don't really plant flowers by color, but as I look at it, I see I have the catchfly in the front, the mossy one, which is so... also dark bishop purple. And the edge, which is a bit more muted, but still in color. And here we also have a very similar color, so I guess I don't plant by color, but somehow it still works out that way, right?
I'm trying.
I'm trying. Okay. Thanks for watching. I see that Clematis has a nice solid support, and I see that you're already using Jagram. Yes.
Yes, you look very nice on it.
The obelisk works great with Clematis, especially when the Clematis is blooming, right? So it intertwines there very well and holds on great. But I noticed this because our other partner, the company Jagram, is also giving you another piece of garden furniture. It's like a... It's called the Hector stand. I'll bring it in a moment. We'll show it and you'll say what you'll use it for, all right? I've brought the Hector stand. Well, it's quite a piece, so to speak. Just like the name, it's big. Do you already know what you'll use this stand for?
Well, for flowers or herbs, I don't know. For seedlings? For early seedlings? Oh, for seedlings. It'll be great. It'll go on the balcony window for celery, tomatoes for the winter time.
There's always an issue. Where do you put it later? There aren't enough windowsills.
There are a few. It will come in handy in March and April. I think it will be perfect. Well?
I'm glad that it will come in handy. A solid piece of furniture. Let's go on and see the garden. Listen, Basia, I have one more gift for you from Nordwoski Lighting. It's a portable rechargeable lamp, so you can take it anywhere in this garden. I've already heard about various uses for this lamp, so it can also be helpful for discovering new corners of the garden at night. But it will definitely work well for you here in this gazebo too. Here you go. It's heavy.
Thank you. It's for the gazebo.
Yes, you'll tell me how it worked out when we come next time. So, what's up? I'm very grateful that we could walk through all these paths. There's so much here that it's really impossible to show it all, so it's really good that we'll come again next time.
Thank you very much for the visit.
But I also heard that next time you'll let us into a part of the garden that you didn't manage to prepare.
Yes, some more plants will be added, so
There will be even more. There will be even more. Listen, right, if you like this 10,000-year kingdom, 000 plants that are here, and which of these plants you actually like the most? I'm really curious. Maybe someone will mention one that we haven't talked about.
thank you.
And see you in the next episode.